Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sarah Louise and I just wanted to do a little update on Bioplasma. It's one of my ultimate favourite treatments. I think I shared in another video that I found a college near to me that does really heavily reduced treatment. So I've been loving it, I've been all over it, and I've been trying lots of things out. And Bioplasma has absolutely been my favourite thing. So, I have lost a little bit of volume in my face, which is natural. I have that face. I think you have different face types. You either have a face type that tends to have jowls and sag, or you tend to lose volume, like kind of here is what I've noticed. It's kind of the two types of face. And I'm definitely a volume loss kind of person. I don't think my face has really sagged a lot. I haven't really had that too much. But there's been volume loss in this sort of like lower face area. But I've also been very resistant to fillers. It's just not something I want to do for various reasons. So I've kind of stepped out of that journey and just kind of accepted my lot until I found biofillers, and I absolutely love them. Now, something that I've noticed with biofillers, so biofillers is basically where they take your blood out of your arm and they spin it and they heat it and they cool it, so it forms this kind of golden gel, and then they inject it into your face like a filler. But it dissolves into your body. Unlike fillers, which they found up to 10 years later, Bioplasma does dissolve into your body because it is your own blood, essentially. It's just that it's put in thicker, so it does actually give you some volume. And although it dissolves, you are actually having all those nice effects of PRP anyway, which stimulates collagen. So something I've really noticed about Bioplasma is the first time I had it, I didn't really notice much difference. It wasn't like, wow. And I feel I've not really had filler, but I feel like if you have filler in the cheeks, you probably get more of an immediate wow, that I will say. But what I found with Bioplasma is it's a really good stacking product. Or stacking treatment. Now, obviously, if it wasn't for the college, there's no way I'd probably be able to afford having it as a stacking treatment because it's quite expensive. I don't really understand why it's so expensive because there's not even any product being used. It is just your own blood. I think eventually prices will come down. I think it's going to become more popular as well because I have noticed a real shift in people. Like, I've always been really into the more natural the better, but I feel like other people have never been like that. But I feel there's been a real shift away from fillers, and it wouldn't surprise me if people start having this a lot more in the future. But it's a real stacker for me because I didn't really get that wow, but I got it enough. I got it enough to keep going, but I don't know if I would have if I was paying the full price, if you know what I mean. Like, these treatments are very, very cheap, and I went back and I've probably had it 4 or 5 times now, and now I get the kind of wow. So now when I have it, I leave and I feel a bit more wow. And I think it's because it's stacked a lot on my face. So my face doesn't really look so great today because what I've noticed about this treatment is that maybe for the first few days, you actually maybe look a bit worse. And then it really kicks in and you're like, oh, wow, yeah. And your skin also glows more because you're getting all those nice effects of the Bioplasma going into your skin. It's also boosting collagen, as well as giving you the immediate kind of filler type effects. So when you first have it, it's very lumpy. So when I had it on my upper cheek, I could feel it. I could really feel it was very, very lumpy. But then what happens is after about 2 weeks, less than that, between 1 and 2 weeks, it starts to dissolve and spread. And that, in my opinion, is when it's like sort of chef's kiss. That's when it's looking really good because it's starting to dissolve. It's becoming all like blended. And you're also starting to get the effects as well, and your skin's starting to glow a bit. So I'm not in that zone yet. And I also do have bruising under my eyes. I've put makeup on now to try and kind of like hide it a bit. But I do have a little bit of bruising, and that's also quite aging because it looks like you've got dark circles. Even like the last time I got bruising down here, and that's also a little bit aging as well because it looks like the bruise looks like an indent, so it kind of looks like you've got hollow cheeks. So I feel like you need the bruising to pass. For me, Arnica really speeds that process up. It takes it down to a few days versus kind of 2 weeks of the bruise lagging. So even though I don't think it's looking its best right now, I just wanted to come on and kind of share with you the whole journey of getting Bioplasma. I chat with the lady the educator that does mine a lot, and so I kind of learned quite a bit from her that I feel like I wouldn't in a regular clinic because we've built up a relationship, and she's also explaining a lot to the student that's watching. So I feel like I kind of learn quite a lot from that. I'm certainly not an expert, but I do learn quite a bit about the treatments that I'm having from hearing that conversation. But yeah, I just wanted to come on and share really how I find this procedure. And I do feel that generally with a lot of these stimulating procedures, because I follow a few facelift groups on Facebook, I'm not really considering a facelift, I just follow them because they have useful tips, and I think, oh, maybe, you know, 10-20 years down the line I might consider that, so I want to see what's out there in the space. And I see a lot of people have these kind of stimulating procedures and then say, oh, they didn't really work, or they didn't really do anything for me. And I genuinely feel that is because they are stacking procedures, and you can't just have one or two and then forget about it for a few years. They have to become part of a routine. So I can totally see how that's quite unaffordable. Like I said, if I hadn't found this college, it would be unaffordable for me to be having all the things I'm having done. You know, I'm finding them at a fraction of the price, and perhaps you can find a college near to you if you're the same, because a lot of people just simply can't do, you know, I'm probably doing sort of a couple of treatments of something every month, you know, and that is quite a lot. And sometimes I'm having a bit more, or sometimes I'm going a month without, you know, if I'm away or something. But I generally range between having IPL, bioplasma, and mesotherapy, which I actually prefer, just for me personally, to polynucleotides, which I have also had, and they're the sort of main ones that I've been having. I do also do lots of at-home things as well, which I will make more videos about, and I've done some videos about, but I really try and have those, like I try and have IPL every month, and then I'm having bioplasma sort of like every few months, and then I'm having like mesotherapy perhaps like every month as well. So that's what I mean about stacking. I think if you go and do any of these things as a one-off, or you have one or two and think that's kind of going to change a lot, I don't personally think it does. I think it's really about them becoming part of a routine. You know, you're getting older and the moisturizers aren't really working, so you add them to your routine. And I actually think if you can't afford to have them as part of a routine, it's actually probably better to try and find home devices, in my honest opinion, that, you know, you can actually use regularly every day, because I think it's very much about consistency. But anyway, yeah, here's my video. I'll try and jump on as well in a few days when I think the bioplasma is actually like looking its best, and you can have a look at it then. Like I said, when it first goes in, it's lumpy, and then it just kind of spreads and dissolves into your face over time, and then it looks much like a much more overall nice, plump, good skin kind of face. Anyway, I hope that helped. You also, by the way, you can't have it, so I do kind of want it in my hands because they're lagging a bit. I've not really done anything with my hands, and I've always had very thin, veiny hands, so they do need something. But it's not a good treatment apparently for your hands because of the fact it's lumpy. I also asked if I could have it here, and she said no, because yeah, you'll basically look like a reptilian because it's lumpy. And it's also not a good treatment. You can't have it in your lips. I've never had any kind of lip filler, but you can't have it in your lips. It's also not good for the neck. So it's very much sort of a face treatment, the biofiller. Obviously you can have PRP everywhere. So that's like a better treatment for the other things. But yeah, it's a little bit lumpier than, you know, hyaluronic acid fillers. So you do have to be aware that it can only be used for certain areas. All right, I hope everyone's well, and I'll speak soon. Bye bye.